Everyone, I have finally obtained a microphone. I know, this is a lot. You can take as much time as you need to fully process all the trauma that you've been through beforehand. But we finally have a mic. Okay, anyways, back to the point of this video. YouTubers have been taking a massive L this year.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
I honestly have been taking a break from YouTube, as in just watching it, but also posting it. So I haven't posted in like 2 weeks. So I apologize for that, because it's just been depressing. Like everything on there, I don't know, man. If you have been on YouTube recently though, there is absolutely no way that you were able to get down your For You page without being slapped in the face with MrBeast drama. Now, as per usual, when I talk about a specific topic, I don't normally like to get into the drama itself or, recap all the events that happen, more than I like to use that person and the event to explain a bigger concept. So if you wanted details or my input on the drama at its core going on, this is not the video for you. I'm not really mainly going to be talking about the drama, like getting into detail of it, because everybody else has it already. You can go to literally anybody on YouTube right now and they will explain what's going on to you. But just for a very brief recap, a YouTuber by the name of Dogpack404, who literally just made their channel like a few weeks ago, made a video called I Work for MrBeast, He's a Fraud. In that video, he goes over some claims and allegations of him faking videos, illegal lotteries aimed at minors, fake signatures, and basically explaining how MrBeast is not nearly as authentic as he tried to portray himself. But just recently, another video from him came out speaking on a much darker side of things. He interviewed a man named Jake Weddle, who was another former employee, and the psychological and physiological trauma that he went through. And yes, literal trauma. Like, this man needed therapy after trying to make a video with MrBeast. So that was very concerning. So just a heads up, the video is very depressing and heavy, but it also showcases more allegations aimed at MrBeast that Dogpack said he will address in the next video. Those allegations include PDF files and registered child offenders who work for MrBeast. The cameraman allegedly was making some of the women uncomfortable in a certain video, and even having, this isn't huge, it's just a little tidbit that was a little disturbing, but even having a list of rules for their company, one of them being no does not mean no. We all have an idea of what that normally alludes to. Now, they say this, of course, to get across the idea that if one place turns them down, if they have a video idea or whatever, then we can go to another place. And it's just basically supposed to be like, be persistent, don't give up yet, or something like that, whatever. But it's just not the best wording, especially after finding out that there are multiple predators allegedly working at his company. Also, just a quick note, I'm going to say the word allegedly an outrageous amount of times in this video, most likely. I am not well versed when it comes to law and all that other stuff. So I'm just going to be safe and not sorry and say allegedly as many times as I need to, even if I don't need to say it, because I ain't trying to get sued. Okay, I'm a broke college student. I don't need that right now. But anyways, yeah, if you want in-depth details, I suggest you just go watch Dogpack's videos, because he's very in-depth. And yeah, the videos are a little bit long, but surely your attention span will survive. So anyways, now that you're caught up to speed, this is a conversation that I have been thinking about for a while when it comes to YouTubers and this whole canceling thing that we have. Like I said, throughout the entire year, we've been losing some of the biggest creators on the platform due to their negligence, a lot of their lies, misdeeds, and just plain wrong actions, sweeping things under the rug, pretending that it doesn't exist and lying about it. And normally when that happens, especially in the first wave of the allegations or whatever, you always have that big chunk of people who are ready to defend them, which is not surprising, but they defend them with the argument of, oh, well, who cares that they lied? It's not that deep. It is just a little lie or whatever. The MrBeast case, when Dogpack's video originally came out, I would see a lot of those comments in the comment section, and they would be like, oh, who cares that he lied? He still does good things. He still donated a lot of money to charity. It matters because he pushed the idea that they were authentic, and they're not. That is blatantly deceiving your viewers. And also, just because he donated to charity and all that type of stuff does not mean that we just forget all the other things that happen. Like, two things can be true at the same time. Some of you have a real problem understanding that concept. Yes, he donated a lot of money to charity. That's great. We can't ignore that. But we also can't ignore that there is a lack of authenticity, even though he promised that to his fans. It doesn't sit right when you push this idea that you're real and authentic, right? They said it several times in their videos. Oh, we're the channel that doesn't fake things. Oh, why do we have to be the channel that doesn't fake our videos?
Yeah, because he's been exposed for faking videos before, and the common response is, why does it matter if the videos are fake? They're just meant to be entertainment. A large part of MrBeast's brand is the fact that he doesn't fake videos.
I remember when I first started seeing your videos, I was like, gotta be fake.
Oh yeah,
Like,
it's a huge problem for us now. I actually have to dial back my content sometimes just so people think it's real. Also, if what we had to film was scripted, you know, because what we do is not scripted, so you have to plan for a bunch of variables that you can't control, blah, blah. If what we did was scripted, holy shit, this stuff would be easy to pump out.
Have you ever faked a video?
No.
But then they do end up being, of course not fully faked, but there are things and aspects of it that weren't actually real, even though we were told they were. Or even allegedly, according to Dogpack, even people who are selected for being a contestant isn't actually random chance, but it's more so people that they already know, already in their circle. Just things here and there that you were promised that you did not get, and it's full authenticity. Why push this idea that is completely spontaneous to your fans? It doesn't matter if, oh, everybody knows those videos are staged anyway. Okay, sure, but why do we have to play internet detective? He went out of his way to make it seem like he was a super genuine guy. He gives away a ton of money. He never fakes his videos, never fakes his giveaways. It just leaves a bad taste in viewers' mouths. Let's play a quick scenario. Let's say you walk into a jewelry shop. You're browsing, looking around, just hoping to spice up your look a little bit, and you see it. The perfect, most gorgeous 24K gold bracelet sitting right there waiting for you. So you pay, I don't know, $6,000 for that brand new gold bracelet. You go home, you feel good about yourself, and then you realize, wait a minute, this bracelet is not real gold. That's right. You were sold fake gold, even though you were advertised real gold. You angrily stare at the piece of junk on your arm and think, I'm never going back to shop there, ever again. Sounds reasonable, right? And sounds like a situation that we've all been in before. At least at one point in our lives, we got something that wasn't actually what it was advertised for. And it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, doesn't it? Normally, you don't bother to go back to support that brand or that company or whatever. So why is it that a lot of people don't seem to do the same thing for YouTubers? Because YouTubers are not seen as what they are, brands. When we think of brands and companies, we normally think of big chains of companies for things like clothes and food and stuff like that. McDonald's, Burger King, Louis Vuitton, Lululemon. What we don't tend to think about is just ordinary YouTubers. When you say a brand, YouTubers are probably the last things that come to mind because we see them as people. And of course we should, because that's what they are. But the bigger you get, especially on the platform, they're no longer just that person who makes silly little videos in their bedroom. I mean, depending on how the YouTuber operates, of course. So with regular companies, their products endorse their brand, right? And these products are normally physical products or services. Their products help create their branding and their reputation so that when you think of a certain company name, an image is attached with it. But for YouTubers, their products are their videos. They're not physical items that you can buy. If we're ignoring things like merchandise and stuff like that, we're just talking about, say like me, small YouTuber, just started out, I make videos. This is my product. This is what I'm offering to you. So their brand comes from things like their personalities, their traits, their editing style, their video format, all of these types of things where if you see a specific style, you know it's them. But nevertheless, just like all those other companies of Nike and McDonald's or whatever, they are still a brand. But the difference is you can see their faces. The human face is such an important part of, everything and anything, of course, but especially in business. In marketing, consumer psychologists and neuromarketers will say that attaching a face to a brand is incredibly successful at adding more of a connection to the buyers and bringing more loyalty from the customers to the brand because it gives a sense of identity. In other words, you tend to get more attached to a human face than, say, a logo with bright colors. Which, of course, is not to say that brands have to have a face as their mascot or whatever. In order to be successful, that is, because obviously that wouldn't be true. How many brands are there that don't have a human face as their mascot or their brand, and they still do really well? But when you think about the huge brands that you know, and then you try to think of, say, the CEOs of those companies, you probably don't know their faces because they weren't made to be the face of their brand. Yes, that pun was intended. With YouTubers, you think of their face first. because that's what comes to mind when you say their name, right? So when you say Mr. Beast, you think of the man Jimmy Donaldson. However, as of right now, and for a long time, that was no longer just Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is Jimmy, but it's also Ava, it's also Carl, Chandler, Tariq, his manager, his marketers, his employees, his camera crew, his editors, and everybody else who works behind the scenes. That whole thing is now Mr. Beast. It is no longer just Jimmy. Just like Chick-fil-A isn't just Andrew Truett Cathy. And yes, I did have to search him up because I have no idea who the CEO of Chick-fil-A is. It's his cooks, his financial team, his marketers, his financial advisors, blah, blah, blah. So Mr. Beast is not just Jimmy anymore. His content, his style, and everything else is now a part of his brand. Think about how many other YouTubers make videos like Mr. Beast, right? They're really loud, kind of obnoxious, really big and lavish, expensive games and prizes that you can win. And normally when you see those types of videos, a lot of YouTubers are like, these are Mr. Beef. Normally people go, these are Mr. Beast knockoffs, or these are Mr. Beast copycats, showcasing that that is Mr. Beast's brand, that style, that content, everything that he does. That is him. You associate that with him. He is a brand, he is a company, and he is a business. And businesses have to make money. So all this yapping to say that the reason I feel that a lot of people continue to cling and latch on to YouTubers whenever they get called out for something, or they're immediately quick to try to, brush it under the rug and be like, oh, it's not that big a deal, it's not that big of a deal, is because they don't see them as the brand and the businesses that they are. So that makes the attachment and the loyalty a little bit stronger and a much harder pill to swallow. I mean, take a look at Oompaville. I'm a big fan of his videos. I love his style. I love how goofy he is. He was on the boat of other people who was trying to be like, this is a bunch of rubbish. I don't believe any of this. In the very beginning, that is. When Dogpack made his video and he reacted to the video and the allegations and everything like that, he was defending Mr. Beast. He didn't want to believe all the stuff that came out about him. Nobody did. Well, mostly nobody. It's that kind of, oh, no, he would never do something like that. Kind of like an old friend that you try to defend when they messed up or they made a bad choice, and you'd be like, give them some slack, cut them some slack. But people don't really tend to do that for big corporations and businesses because it's easier to detach yourself from someone or something that doesn't actually have a face. For businesses, they're just big corporations, at the top of the pyramid who take advantage of the little people, the poor people, eat the rich, that type of mindset. But we don't tend to use that mindset for YouTubers like Jimmy, or say Logan Paul, who has been allegedly scamming people out of his company that he has, or Game CryptoZoo, whatever it is, and has been under fire for it for a pretty long while. Yet he still has a lot of followers, a lot of views, a lot of subscribers. And this goes for smaller creators like myself. Maybe not to the caliber of someone as big as MrBeast, but I still have to make a name for myself through my content, which is my product, with me as the face of it all. My video editing, my video essay style, even my appearance, all of that is a part of my brand. I'm not selling a physical product per se, but I'm selling myself. I just don't have a bunch of employees. I'm kind of a one-woman band here, and I'm not selling you anything physical. Which is another reason I feel like people don't tend to take it too seriously when YouTubers lie about their content and stuff like that, is because they feel like they're not really losing too much because they don't see their time as a currency. But with every view that you give, that translates into money, which that's monetary value, but it also translates into more attention to their channel or their brand. So the YouTube algorithm will pick that up, put that on the front page, which is going to lead more people to see it, which generates more views, which generates more revenue, which generates more subscribers, more followers, more attention to their brand, and just snowball effects. It doesn't seem as extreme as that though, because it's just your time being taken and not something tangible like money. Money is more physical, right? You can feel that, especially when you make a big purchase and it hits you right here. It hurts. But time is more philosophical, it's conceptual, it's not something physical, so we don't see it the same way. But it still is a type of currency, believe it or not. You are trading your time for entertainment. And in turn, the creator gets paid for your time. There's a transaction there. So promising your customers, or your viewers in this case, something and not giving it to them, which is just false advertisement, is kind of a low and scummy thing to do because they paid for authenticity with their time and did not get it. It doesn't matter if it was still entertaining or people, the video still made people happy because they profited off of your time with a promise that they did not fulfill. Going back to the gold bracelet scenario, I can assure you that if you went home and you found out that bracelet was not real gold, you would not be saying, well, you know what? the experience was still fun. Going there, browsing for all the bracelets, that was good enough for me. That was entertaining. No, you're not going to do that. You're going to go back and demand a refund, as you should. Now, of course, a gold chain has a lot of value to it, like monetary value. As I just said, money tends to hit harder when you lose it. Obviously, that's going to make people more upset. If it was like maybe a $10 shirt somewhere that was falsely advertised and didn't do whatever it was supposed to do, you probably wouldn't bother going to take it back or anything like that because it doesn't seem that much. But either way, it would still leave a bad taste in your mouth, and you probably wouldn't shop there again as you were lied to. So you have a right to be upset when YouTubers do lie or they make these really bold claims promising you authenticity and you not getting it. One of the claims that Dogpack made in his video was that video of $1 island versus like $1 million island or something like that. In that video, apparently the $1 island was not actually $1. Nobody cares that the island wasn't actually $1. But why go through such lengths in order to hide that fact? Or there's another claim that he makes that in the challenges where they say we stayed on a boat for 72 hours or however long it was, they didn't actually stay out at night like they claimed they did. They went into the crew production boat where they were safe and dry. Again, nobody cares that you went into the boat to be safe. Trust me, I would do the same. I wouldn't want to stay outside out in the rain with the bugs and out on the sea. Like, I'd be in the production boat too. But why go to such lengths to lie to say that, yeah, we stayed out overnight if you didn't actually? No one would judge you if you did decide to take your health into consideration. But convincing your audience who are paying you with their time that we did this all authentic or we did all of this outside, we didn't have any outside help, but you did, it would still make for a great video. All people are asking for is a little bit of transparency. All we're asking is for them to be honest, like they claim that they are. How is that too much to ask? Like the bare minimum of holding true to your claims, somehow that's a huge, big deal that we're making. And I think it just shows how much we've lowered our standards for creators and just the internet in general and getting what we are told that we're getting and not actually getting it. Like, we've gone so low that we are willing to accept being lied to as the norm. And then we just brush it off as it's not that deep just to seem unproblematic. I don't like making big deals out of little things either. I can't stand petty. When things are done, they're done. You move on and you get over it. But saying that we can't criticize people, businesses, companies, whatever about their authenticity is asking us to just accept being lied to. Like, of course, it's very important to be skeptical on the internet, especially, right? We all know not to believe everything on the internet. Well, we all know that, but some may act otherwise. But we know that a lot of the stuff on the internet is not true. We need to fact check it. So, of course, expecting things to be fake and be like, oh, well, we already knew it was staged and stuff like that. Whatever, that's understandable. You should definitely be skeptical on the internet and be looking out for things that aren't real. But I just find it interesting that we as viewers no longer have the dignity to hold creators up to the claims and the standards that they've made for themselves, and rather just let them take advantage of us and lie to us for views and money. Just because something is not that deep now does not mean it cannot become a bigger problem in the future. If there's a leak in your roof and you say that it's not that deep now, trust me, that thing is going to blow a hole in your roof in the next few months. The more you ignore a problem, the bigger it is going to get. Hence the allegations that are coming out about MrBeast now. It looks like he might have been lying about a lot more than just the videos not being 100% real. That's the lower end of it. Allegedly, not trying to get sued. So as much as I would also not like to believe it, we can't ignore all of the evidence and all these allegations that are coming out about him. And also, just because he gave to charity and stuff like that does not mean that we can't acknowledge the wrongdoings as well. Whether or not the charity was done in good faith, because a lot of people are saying it was just done to exploit people and get them for views. So that's a whole nother conversation. But we shouldn't be compliant with just being lied to, especially when, once again, these creators hold themselves to standards of authenticity and being truthful and transparent with their audience. We cannot just say it's not that deep and just brush it under the rug and pretend it didn't happen or pretend that it's not that big of a deal and let them take advantage of viewers. Because at the end of the day, these people are brands, they are businesses, and all businesses have to make money. And unfortunately, some businesses will do anything it takes to obtain that money. So Dogpack gave us a little preview of his next video, apparently going more in depth about the allegations of having a registered offender as one of his crew people, as well as the harassment of the women on set of a certain video, the 100 girls versus 100 boys, I think. I'm honestly a little bit afraid for Dogpack 2, considering who it is that he's going up against. I mean, he already received a cease and desist, but he doesn't seem too worried about it. Also, he seems to be high like all the time, so I'm pretty sure he's good. But all jokes aside, I do commend him for speaking up about his experience and also bringing all of this evidence and these claims to light, because obviously it started a movement where a lot of other people who are also victims of MrBeast and everything that he did at his company, they're finding their voice to speak up about it too. So yeah, look forward to that next video. I know I will be. Not looking forward to it as excited because I'm sad and obviously disappointed. MrBeast was one of my favorite YouTubers, but you know, it is what it is. And we're just going to see where this whole thing takes us. But as of right now, that's all I have for today. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.